Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you to tonight's event. We are joined this evening not only by friends and family of tonight's recipients, but also members of the Alumni Board and the Hope College community at large. So again, thank you for joining us. Just so you know, we will be streaming this event live on the Alumni Association Facebook page as the 10 Under 10 award is being presented by the Alumni Board of Directors. For those viewing on Facebook, thank you for making time in your evening to join us. And tonight's esteemed recipients have been chosen by a selection committee from a list of nearly 100 nominations. The award is designed to celebrate emerging leaders who are making significant contributions by living out their calling. On that note, if you know of anyone you believe is worthy of this award, you can make nominations at hope.edu/alumni/awards. As we begin our event, let me cover a few details. First, we will begin with a few remarks from President Scogin, followed soon after by a video paying tribute to each of tonight's recipients. In each of these vignettes, the featured speaker is the faculty or staff member who the recipient named as the person who had the most impact on them during their time at Hope. So this is a surprise to them, and it'll be very interesting to see their reactions to this. So this will be fun. As you enjoy tonight's remarks, you're encouraged to send your well wishes to the specific recipients in the chat feature on Zoom. We will be collecting those and sharing those with each of tonight's recipients. And so with that said, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce President Scogin, Hope College's 14th president, who will begin our evening with a few words.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate all of you joining us tonight. Our world today is in need of good leaders more than ever before. Leaders in all spheres of public and private life. And tonight we're honoring an extraordinary group of Hope College graduates who are exactly that. Leaders in the nonprofit world, leaders in the business world, leaders in the legal world, healthcare, and even an endeavor that we call education. So tonight we're excited to honor this group of extraordinary people. And I want you to know that we are proud of you. We at Hope College are very proud of you, and I'm proud of you. And I don't even know you, but I know a lot about you. I've heard about you because you are making an impact. You are making an impact in the world. And ultimately, you're doing exactly what we aspire to do as an institution. You are spreading hope. You're spreading hope in a world that desperately needs it. So thank you. Congratulations. We are excited to honor you and to celebrate you and all of your success. We've asked each recipient tonight to respond to one question. And the question is this: how has your Hope experience been uniquely valuable as you have lived out your calling? And so I'm looking forward to hearing the responses to that question. To start us off this evening, we're going to watch the video honoring our first recipient, Amy.
When I was notified about this award for Amy, I thought, how lovely for her. And also, well, of course, that makes sense. Amy was one of those students that just stands out. So either right before or right after Amy graduated, we connected on LinkedIn, the beginning of LinkedIn. And I've been kind of creeping on her and stalking her a little bit just to see how she's been doing and watching what she's been doing as a professional. And she's contributing to her community. She's making a difference. So proud of what she's been able to accomplish. Amy is diligent, compassionate, bright, and curious. And I'm honored to have been a really small part of her journey here at Hope. Amy Weebly, for acting as an agent of hope, faithfully living into your vocation. Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Kudos, well done, well deserved.
Hello, I know they're having some technical difficulties with the video, but I'll go ahead and really just want to say that I'm really honored to be part of this talented group of awardees. And I'm even more than that proud to be part of this amazing community of alumni from Hope College. Hope College really has provided me a well-rounded educational experience that truly has helped me live out my calling. The courses, we talk about a liberal arts education and how impactful that is. I did not learn necessarily hard skills through my communications courses as I went through studies to continue my career in communications and marketing. There wasn't a class in social media marketing that I took. However, the courses that I took helped me to think critically, helped me to hone my communication skills, helped me to work on problem solving that truly provided the foundation for my career and becoming the emerging leader that I am today. Hope anchors the soul, and it's kind of corny, but it's very true. I'm truly anchored in hope and the foundation that they laid for my career and how it has led me through my calling and will continue to lead me through my calling for the rest of my life. So I just want to thank my family for their support throughout my education and my whole career, especially my parents who helped me through the education, my husband now for always supporting my career, to everybody at Hope who has contributed to my Hope experience that impacts me to this day, and especially to my best friend Chelsea that I met in Dykstra at Hope College, who, even though we live in different states now, we are still very much connected and supporting each other. So that definitely continues the legacy in my life and touches every point of my life. So thank you.
When I was asked to help celebrate Annalise and her accomplishments, I was honored, and she makes it a pretty easy job. I had the privilege of meeting Annalise, who we know better by Cece, on move-in day her first year at Hope College. She was coming from Oregon, moving into Voorhees Hall, where I was serving as resident director. Little did we know then that we would stay connected for years to come, no matter how many miles might separate us. I'm sure Cece's serving others started long before her college years, but that's where I had the opportunity to observe, watching her connect with fellow residents, build relationships, and become involved on campus, even as a first-year student, with much maturity and kindness. I had the opportunity to have a front row seat to Cece serving and interacting with others as her supervisor her second year at Hope. Her natural ability to lead others was quickly evident from emails written, events planned, and activities encouraged. She was always looking for ways to help others find joy in their situation and places to connect. As a member of a 5-person RA team, Cece was able to offer her creativity while also challenging her teammates to think deeply. Her value of learning was clear in her time and efforts put towards her academics, from organic chemistry to writing. Her interests ran deep and wide, and she excelled across the board. Along the way, she would throw in a few surprises, with other talents being musically inclined and being quite the baker and athlete too. Watching the relationships form between Cece and her fellow RAs and core group of friends was so much fun. You could just tell that there was something special connecting the group. Cece was always the person to bring the focus back to the group and would be the one who would continue reaching out in the years to come to keep the group in touch as distance might separate them more and more. On graduation day, this group was literally the last group of people standing on the football field, as well recorded by Cece's dad in a photo. Hard to think of this group splitting up, but knowing that they were moving on to do great things and would continue to stay in touch and support each other through marriages, growing families, and career opportunities. From Hawaii to San Jose, Africa to Alaska, Cece has been finding ways to stretch and grow while supporting and providing opportunities for so many people to learn. She is impacting so many by diving into communities and cultures and offering her joyful spirit and love of learning. I couldn't think of a more thoughtful and encouraging young woman. I've recently been on the receiving end of that thoughtfulness with a beautiful quilt Cece made for our new baby. Yet another talent we've learned she has. The world is a brighter and better place because Cece is in it. With that, Annalise Klein for acting as an agent of hope who lives faithfully into your vocation. Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Congratulations and keep up your great work.
Well, Kate, you said some of us might get teary, so that's me. Thank you, Allison, so much. Wow. So as an educator myself now, I always say that I shine when my students shine. And so I just hope that I can reflect this honor back to my professors and all of these people who have poured into my life. So chemistry department at Hope, Dr. Anderson, Professor Smith, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Krieger, Donna Silva, thank you so much for challenging me and encouraging me in those 4 years and beyond. The English department, Skokel, my advisor, and Heather and Dr. Childress, Montano, Hemingway, studying literature and storytelling was the best decision that I ever made. So I'm a better person because of the lens by which I now see the world, and that's thanks to you all. I had the privilege of singing jazz with Dr. Edie Hyde, traveling to Pine Ridge Reservation with Professor Hugerwerf, and being nurtured in Jim Alice's philosophy courses. So, and a special shout out to Allison and Aaron for 15 years of being the RD power couple of Voorhees and just investing in me as a resident, an RA, and now as friends. I am a product of phenomenal education, and it started with being homeschooled by my incredible mom, learning from my grandparents in Hawaii, and then that solidifying in my liberal arts education at Hope. And so I have done nothing to deserve this quality of education. And it has become my life calling to fight for students, particularly in Indigenous communities in the United States, who have faced generational trauma, both in the past and present, from public education. And so I work, and I will continue to work for a very long time to envision and enact an educational model where home culture and school culture are not divorced, and their traditional ways of knowing and doing science and other subjects are given that place of honor as the impetus of their learning, and that can catapult them into their own vocations. So thank you so much for this incredible honor. And here's to each of our own callings as we discern them, and then as we roll up our sleeves and get to work. So thank you very much.
Charlene Pelter DeWitt, what a joy it is to see the seeds of hope bearing fruit in your life and work. I have fond memories of you as my advisee, student in behavior disorders with our mental health research lab, as a Clasis mentee discussing faith and calling and career, our conversations about your Philadelphia semester and legal opportunities, and your Hope Psychology internship in mediation services as a Mellon Scholar. You show depth and maturity, a keen, discerning mind, strength of character, wisdom, and perseverance. You were an attentive reader and listener, an incisive writer and speaker. You kept the focus on people's humanity. You looked for the intersections of justice and mercy with accountability, aiming in the direction of restoration and flourishing. As a 2015 alum, already you have worked in prison law, family law, disability law, and have 2 years of experience as a legal aid attorney with Legal Services of Northern California. You have been recognized with awards and honors from the UC Davis School of Law, the Equal Justice Works Eli Siegel AmeriCorps Education Award, the University of California President's Summer Public Service Law Fellowship, the Schwartz-Levi Inn of Court Scholarship, and now your very own Hope College's 10 Under 10 Alumni Award. We are so thankful for you. We are proud of you, and we celebrate with you. May you continue to use the abundant gifts and opportunities that you have been given to meet genuine needs in this world that God so loves. Charlene Pelter DeWitt, congratulations. Keep bringing hope to the world.
Thank you so much to Dr. Whitfleet for those unbelievably kind words. I appreciate it so much. I have such fond memories of working together, spreading out pamphlets from different law schools, digging through them, going over the pros and cons at length. The same for Dr. Deborah Swanson in the sociology department. Many long conversations in your office trying to determine what my calling was. And I think that's what I take with me from my Hope experience, is that so many people poured into me and used so much of their time to help me get to where I am today, and really helped me to understand that there's more to it than just a career. It's about determining who you're going to be, who you want to be. And I couldn't have done that without the hours and hours of personal attention and time that I received from so many professors at Hope, so many great friends that I met at Hope that I still cherish to this day. I'm so grateful for what I learned at Hope, and I hope that I can continue to make all of my dear professors proud, and that I can continue to bring some of that special attention that I received at Hope, and that I can take that into my profession and continue to see the dignity in everybody regardless of their circumstances. And I hope I can do a little for my clients that so many of you at Hope did for me.
I met Eric as a sophomore nursing student, and he was assigned to be my advisee. We started meeting for advising appointments and talked about schedules and classes and requirements. We quickly evolved into talking about hopes and dreams and a lot of baseball. I recognized early on that Eric was a born leader. He expected a lot from himself and others, but he was the first to offer assistance to anybody that was struggling, whether that be in the clinical setting, in the classroom, or in the weight room. That was how Eric was. Eric was always willing to give back. In fact, after he graduated from Hope, he would travel back to campus to speak at our Advanced Studies in Nursing course. This course was a course geared toward undergraduate nursing students who are thinking of pursuing advanced degrees. And he would tell them with encouragement that you can get a PhD even if you didn't get straight A's at Hope. I did it, and that was really encouraging to all the students. Another thing about Eric is that he was always willing to share his faith. He told me about a ministry that he did in high school at his beloved Warren De La Salle High School about making rosaries. I was very interested in the ministry and in rosaries. And about a week later, Eric showed up in my classroom with a rosary. I still have that rosary in my office now. That's the kind of young man Eric is. I believe Eric was blessed with many gifts, and he's a faithful steward of those gifts. Eric, for being an agent of hope and faithfully living into your vocation, Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you much, Sherry, for that great introduction. Thank you for the committee, President Scogin, everyone. This is truly an honor to be blessed with this award from a great institution. Hope has provided me so much and brought me to where I am. To Stu and Carol Fritz for my baseball coach and his wife for being a second family and the ones that brought me to Hope. To all the faculty and students in my nursing department that not only provided me with a strong education to be a registered nurse, but then further on to get my PhD and now to be a cancer researcher and to carry on what Hope has taught me and all the lessons that I received, and even beyond being one of the top nursing programs in the state, providing me with a liberal arts education that through my research, I'm required to work with a number of disciplines, whether it be psychology, sociology, medicine. And I feel that Hope truly prepared me to be able to be a leader in a research team setting and working with those disciplines because I was required to take different courses that were not just in nursing, but across a multitude of disciplines and studies at Hope. And without the liberal arts education, I don't think I would be as prepared of a researcher and an academic as I am now. And so I really cherish the education, the lessons that Hope brought me, and everything with being able to carry on a passion of mine, which was baseball, and still being able to complete a demanding nursing program in 4 years. Being able to balance those two things was made possible by my professors, my coaches, and my teammates. And I'm truly thankful for that, and my parents and my brother and everyone surrounding me that kept me going through the difficult times when it was difficult to balance both baseball and nursing, but I was able to do it. And I think without those people and what Hope brought me, I really don't think I would be where I'm at now. So I'm truly thankful for the lessons, the education, the people, that everything that Hope provided for me, and it will always be instrumental in who I am as a person. Thank you.
My memories of Jordan Fuller start in the fall of 2008 as he was in an introductory class in our department. And during that time, I was overwhelmed at his transparency, his willingness to come talk with me about his plans, his family, his historic family business, his heart, his drive and the classes that he was taking and what his aspirations were as well. And I'll just share a couple of examples of that. You've probably heard about work Jordan is doing now in Honduras. When Jordan was here on campus, he was already doing work in Honduras and trying to figure out how that would work. He also involved in our DC semester in the Attorney General's office, trying to figure out his service for him going to be in Honduras, his service going to be in some other way involved in the country. Even in his senior class a year later, I remember asking students if they could tell me what is the number one thing that they value. And Jordan's number one value was service. He said, I'm called to love the Lord my God with all my heart and others as myself and to serve them. And my question is who? Who am I going to serve? Where am I going to serve? And that led, of course, to a law degree and a business degree and work in one of the most well-known and largest banks in the world. And now trying to transform lives of people in other countries as well. So his heart, his drive, are great examples in the fabric of what he did here, but also now in the experiences that you've heard about. He is clearly an agent of hope and faithfully living into his vocation, and I am thankful that he's my friend. Hope College is proud to honor Jordan Fuller as one of our 2020 10 Under 10 award recipients.
Thanks to Professor Jackson and to the nominating committee. And it's funny that that's kind of exactly what I was going to say, what he was talking about. And you know, what I learned at Hope was that how important calling really is. And I think as Christians, we all have the same calling, and exactly what Professor Jackson said. I think he was quoting Jesus, that, you know, we're supposed to love our God with all our heart, soul, and mind, and love our neighbors as ourselves. And you know, I think what's different about all of our calling, and it's cool to hear everybody's calling, is just how we live that out. And, you know, my calling is in Honduras and a nonprofit to end poverty in rural communities. And I think my Hope College education really prepared me for that, because poverty is so complex. And so, you know, what we do at Humanity and Hope is we work in economy and education, healthcare, community infrastructure, and leadership. And Hope College really prepared me to address poverty in all those different ways. Communication is really important, especially across cultures, and really that ability to stay curious and ask questions for things that I don't understand. And that's something that I really grew in at Hope. Also my faith, something that was really cultivated at Hope. And then, you know, just the importance of collaboration. The small class sizes at Hope, you know, encourage people to ask questions, and also, you know, the friends that I made at Hope, and, you know, it's cool to see them involved in what we're all doing today in Honduras. And, you know, just that collaboration is so important in a nonprofit space, as you rely so much on volunteers. And so all of these things I really learned at Hope. And so extremely thankful for my experience. Thankful to the business management professors and also to the political science professors. Thank you.
I have known Luis Silva since he arrived at Hope College as a freshman. I first came to know him through teaching in the Phelps Scholars Program. Luis immediately stood out to me because of the maturity he demonstrated and his focus on achieving his goals. He took his studies seriously and conducted himself responsibly amidst all the new experiences and enticements that are ever present for incoming freshmen. I always enjoyed talking with him and hearing about his life story. It's a story worth remembering and celebrating. When Luis started elementary school in Holland, he faced not only the challenges everyone else faced, but also the challenge of learning a language that was not his native tongue. Yet, by the time he was in high school, through his own hard work, he developed a command of the English language that allowed him to excel in school to the point of fully meeting the admissions requirements of Hope College. After graduation, Luis accepted a position in the Hope College admissions office, where I continued to frequently work with him. I especially remember the outstanding work Luis did in overseeing the Covenant Scholarship selection process, which requires a real commitment to assure opportunity and equity in making selections from a large pool of talented candidates. He gave everything he had to his work in the admissions office and was a great mentor for many Hope students. As Luis transitioned to his position in the Human Resources Department with Herman Miller, he continued to be a wonderful mentor of Hope students and to build important bridges between Herman Miller and Hope College. As he grows his experiences in his new career as a business partner, I continue to regularly see his imprint on students at Hope. I'm always surprised how many students know him and speak of his influence on them. Luis's volunteer experiences are widespread and numerous. I won't take the time to repeat them to you. but I will say that this is a direct reflection of his upbringing. He has always maintained a tight connection to his family and to his culture. He was raised with the values of hard work, family, and make your culture proud. He has clearly succeeded in all three of those core areas of his life. Luis Silva, for acting as an agent of hope who lives faithfully into your vocation. Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Congratulations.
Definitely speechless. It was a nice surprise to see Dr. Yelding. Happy to see him always looking good. He's always had the best suits out there, and that continues to this day. So I really appreciate that. What does hope mean to me? Hope to me, it means growth. Hope to me means opportunity. It means friends. It means mentors. It means challenges. It means so many things. And I can truly say that I would not be where I am today without Hope College and without the values that have instilled in me. And I think it's an amazing story, right? Where hope really does have values that align with people like me and my culture and my background. And those are things that we need to continue to celebrate. I know that hope has a lot of room for growth in various aspects, but if they were willing to give me the privilege to attend and they were willing to bet on someone like myself, then it's a place that we can't give up on. And it's a place that we need to give back to and think about in every decision that we make and in every activity that we do. So I will always have hope in my heart, and I look forward to finding more ways to give back. And again, just extremely honored for this award. Thankful to everyone who was there for me at Hope and who continues to be there for me. So thank you all.
I remember my first summer as a professor at Hope and you being a part of that first research group. The project I assigned you, it didn't quite work out and we had to pivot. You had a great attitude throughout. And what we pivoted turned into a first manuscript written by the group. Despite the turbulence in your research project that summer, you discovered a passion for chemistry. I'll never forget the conversation at LJ's between the two of us as the summer was drawing to a close, and you told me that you were thinking of going to grad school in chemistry instead of medical school. It was a privilege to be a part of you discovering your interest in chemistry and surface science and atomic force microscopy. You were my first student to go to grad school in chemistry and my first to earn a PhD. Now you're back at Hope as a chemistry professor. I'm so proud of all that you've learned along the way and how you've continued to explore your passions, finding teaching and mentoring students to be key amongst them. Megan Alinsky for acting as an agent of hope who lives faithfully into your vocation. Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Congratulations.
It was so great to see Dr. Anderson present the award to me because I know she's no longer at Hope, but I'm excited that they reached out to her and that was so touching. So we were asked to reflect on what part of our Hope experience has been valuable to us as we have moved on. And so for me, reflecting on that question, there were two key valuable aspects, and I'm not sure they're all that different, but I'll separate them here. And the first is the community. So I'm in science, as you just heard from Beth, and that's gaining strong knowledge and technical skills was just the start. So at Hope, taking general education classes outside my major taught me to communicate well with diverse people and really start growing the roots of my community. And so more than communication, building a network of people of faith and friendship provided roots so deep that I was not only drawn back to Hope in my career, but it provided really strong support for me over the years, over time and long distances as I followed my calling around the country. I try to tell people in my community this all the time, but I'm so grateful for them and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So I hope they know how thankful I am. And the second aspect of my Hope experience that has been valuable really has been coming from a place that sees no boundaries between faith and science. So while there's a lot of quantitative measurements in the work I do, and I study really small things, there's also a lot of beauty and mystery. And so as I have followed this calling, I've really benefited in connecting that beauty and mystery in science with beauty and mystery in faith. And so I think that has truly been a unique part of my Hope experience. So thanks again for everyone for this award. I am truly honored.
Dr. Stepker? No way. Man, I knew him when. By the way, I'm going to refer to this cheat sheet, not just because I'm old, but also because I didn't know most of the stuff that I've learned about Peter. So Peter came to Hope with a fairly sketchy high school record, let's put it that way. And I was his weekly advisor for the first semester. And man, did he light it up. I think he ended that semester with something like a A- GPA. Anyway, I lost track of him after the first year, just like most first-year advisors lose track of students when they declare their major. And so, quite honestly, I never heard much more about him after that. And now look at him. Well, except for that 2-year stint at Calvin. What fantastic work he's done with kids, with professional organizations, volunteering, important research, and now professoring. Well, it's not that I'm surprised, but man, has he come a long way, and he's certainly outdone me. Peter, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition, and thanks for remembering me. So Peter, for acting as an agent of hope who lives faithfully into your vocation, Hope College is proud to honor you with a 2020 10 Under 10 award.
Well, thank you so much, David James. That was great. It's so good to see you. Thank you for the kind words. So it was a loaded question that we were asked. So sorry, that was my 3-year-old son sitting right there. But it's hard for me to really put into context about how valuable my education at Hope was to me. As someone currently in higher education, there are things that occur that make me reflect immediately on the impact Hope had and how it influenced me as a person, teacher, husband, and father. Hope pushed me to think critically and deep. And through that, I'm always pushing myself to continue thinking this way, as well as challenging my students to do the same. It prepared me to understand what it means to be an effective teacher and how to create a learning environment that is safe for all my students and allows them to grow. I'm so thankful for my time there, not only because of the education, but also because of how Hope helped me grow as a person. Without Hope, I truly believe I would not be where I am today. Lastly, I have to add the best thing that came out of my time at Hope was me and my wife, Brooke. She inspires me every day to be the best version of myself. So thank you so much to Hope College Alumni Association for this award. It's a great honor.
Stephanie, I am so proud of you, and I'm not alone. Congratulations on the honors you've received in your public service, your work as a legislative staff member, and in your academics. Something I'm very proud I got to be a part of with you. You are a leader. You combine character in the work that you do. You give back to others from the experience and ensuing wisdom that you've gained. And due to this impressive history of academic work and service success you've attained in such a short amount of time, Stephanie Bogema, for acting as an agent of hope who lives faithfully into your vocation. Hope College is proud to honor you with the 2020 10 Under 10 Award. Congratulations, Stephanie. I am so glad I've been part of your journey, and I look forward to seeing what God has for you in the future.
Thank you so much to Dr. Beard. That was such a lovely introduction. Hope College's unique commitment to academic excellence and the Christian tradition really fosters an environment of true collaboration that creates deep and meaningful relationships. Those relationships with other students who have become dear friends that I stay in touch with regularly, alumni, faculty, and staff have far surpassed my time as a student. I do want to specifically mention Dr. Beard, Dr. Dandavati, Dr. Paulette, Dr. Ryden, and Dr. Tyler for the many ways that they influenced my development as a student and how that helped me figure out how I wanted to start my career. I recently transitioned from the public sector into healthcare, and there were a number of really specific touch points because of my experiences at Hope that allowed for that to be possible. Because of my experience on Capitol Hill as part of the DC Honor Semester program, I had the opportunity to work with Congressman Fred Upton, and that allowed me to then be the chief of staff to State Senator Margaret O'Brien. Because of that experience, I was asked to serve on a Hope College alumni networking panel event in Lansing. And through that, I met Beth Emmett, who was working for Governor Snyder at the time. And partially because of my relationship with her, I had the opportunity to later become the chief of staff to the president and CEO.
Wolves. When you hear the word wolf, you might be imagining anything from noble guardians of the last remaining American wilderness to scary creatures that are stalking little girls in the woods wearing red capes. But discerning the actual ecological role of wolves in a scientific way has been both controversial and mysterious for a very long time.
So when Tom Gable came to us as a young freshman and told us in Scott Science Center one day, I want to do research on wolves for my career, we thought, wow, that's going to be a pretty difficult thing to get into for an undergraduate. But that was before we really understood Tom's dedication and his seriousness and even his wilderness savvy.
So after a few internships that were really pivotal in introducing Tom to working with wolves, he was well poised to begin his master's graduate program at Northern Michigan University, where he helped to launch Voyageur's Wolf Project in northern Minnesota, which is what he's been doing ever since. There have been 13 publications that Tom and his team have completed while he's been in graduate school. He just defended his PhD dissertation this last month. And through this work on the ecological role of wolves, he's been able to illuminate and change in many ways our scientific view of what keystone predators are doing in the biological community.
Every bit as important as has been Tom's passion for illuminating the general public's understanding of wolves and their role in maintaining biological diversity in the communities in which they occur. Through a steady stream of popular articles and social media outreach, Tom and the people who work with him have made it possible for anybody to engage in wolf research by interacting with the Voyageurs Wolf Project that he and others began. With that same dedication that he brought to his field work and his dissertation research, Tom dispels myths through Q&A sessions with the general public. He invites the public to input information into their project and inspires people of all ages to connect with wolves and these communities in which they occur.
One of the best ways that Tom has been carrying out his passion for bringing wolves to the people is right back here giving back to Hope. We've been really fortunate to have him visit some of our very own classes where students here at Hope are able to engage in some of the work by doing data analysis on the diet of wolves through looking at wolf scats. So, Dr. Thomas Gable, by being a beacon of hope and by living faithfully through your vocation, Hope College is very proud to award you with a 2020 10 Under 10 award.
Go Tom.
Okay, well, Tom Gable is very excitingly working right now doing an aerial beaver survey in Minnesota. So he is spending 7 days flying around Minnesota and doing important work for the natural world in Minnesota. So on behalf of Tom, he's sorry that he can't be here, but we're so happy to have him as part of the Hope community. And we're so happy to be able to celebrate him and award him with this award. His award will be sent to him, so he will have it. And we're just delighted that he was able to at least take part in sending us some photos, and also we'll make sure that he gets that video as well. If you noticed, we were not able to finish with Stephanie Bogema's speech. She had some connectivity issues, and so I'm going to invite her back now so she can finish up and so we can hear her wonderful words, and then I will return to finish up the evening. So just one moment, and Stephanie will take you back.
Great, thank you so much, Kate. I'm so sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I left off. So I'll just end by saying that there were so many different experiences that I had at Hope that allowed me to really have the flexibility and opportunity to transition from one industry to another. And I think that really speaks to the strength of the Hope College community. And I really appreciate how supportive my family has been with every endeavor that I've ever been interested in undertaking. So thank you so much, and I'm really honored to have been given this award.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so glad we were able to finish that up. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here. I think that I could probably say thank you all night long and never be finished with it. As Jonathan mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, if you have someone on your mind that you think would be a fantastic candidate to be celebrated as someone who could be a great 10 under 10, please take a moment to go to hope.edu/alumni/awards. It's a very, very short nomination process, and we would love to hear about the wonderful stories that are going on in our young alumni community. These people have been only out for a maximum of 10 years from here from Hope, and they're making a great impact, and we're really thankful to have them. We're so delighted to be able to welcome back the 2020 10 under 10 award recipients. So I'd like to invite them back onto the screen. They're going to kind of bid adieu to all of you who have been able to come. And we've got a couple people joining us, it looks like even. And so I've made my final presentation of this wonderful special group that will hopefully never have to necessarily do it this way again, but they were so wonderful to be able to do it. And so thank you to the people who were part of the process, and thank you to you, the 2020 10 under 10 award recipients. Thank you so much, everyone. Give a big wave. You've made it.